What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, before I get into the subject matter at hand, as always, I'd like to remind you guys that if you want to show love to this channel, you want to donate to Too Raw for TV, I'm going to put a link in the description box and you can donate if you choose to. Now, Game 3 is in the books, and the Toronto Raptors did what everybody thought they should have done, which is take advantage of a depleted Golden State Warriors team. All right? And they won by the final score of 123 to 109. Of course, Kevin Durant has not played since what their series with the Houston Rockets, and so without him, Kevon Looney is lost for the playoffs. Andre Iguodala is not quite himself, and of course, just before the game started, before tip-off, it was announced that Klay Thompson would not be playing in this game. So if you're the Raptors, you have no excuses really to lose this game, all right? And the Raptors took advantage of the situation, unlike the Houston Rockets. Okay? Now, make no mistake about it, though. The Warriors did show their championship mettle. There were stretches in this game where I remember in the second quarter they played great overall intense team defense. And they made it pretty hard for the Raptors to try to score and get anything going offensively as far as good shots, good quality shots. And in the latter parts of this game, they tried. They tried to, turn the ball over. They tried to play really good defense. I was especially impressed by Steph Curry on the defensive end. And on the defensive end, as far as his hustle and rebounding. I'm going to tell you something, man. Back in 2016, I know I did a lot of videos where I was kind of like critical of Curry, but at the time, only thing I was saying in my defense was I just hate hyping. Like, I just hate when the media just overhypes guys. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Stephen Curry is one of the all-time great players. Okay? And tonight pretty much said something that I've been saying too, in that I always thought that if you gave Steph Curry the green light that James Harden had with the Houston Rockets this past year, that he could put up the same numbers but be more efficient. Like tonight, let me see. What was Curry? I think it was 14 or 32 from the floor. 14 or 31 from the floor. 6 or 14 from beyond the arc. 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Uh, a playoff career high, 47 points, 2 steals. And even though they lost by 14, with him on the floor, they were a -8. So, and that's the lowest among the starters. So that goes to show you the impact that he has, on this game, man. Unfortunately, man, he did not get quite enough help. Talking about Curry, he just didn't get quite enough help. DeMarcus Cousins did not have a repeat of the performance that he had in Game 2. DeMarcus Cousins only had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 of 7 from the floor. Draymond Green played well, especially from beyond the arc, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, but did not have quite as impactful a game as he had in the first couple of games of this finals. He also turned the ball over 4 times. Made some good defensive plays though, Draymond Green. Throughout the stretch of the game, got some key charges and whatnot to try to gain momentum for the Warriors. But overall, Curry did not get the type of help offensively that he needed. Iguodala had a decent game. Jerebko's okay. But Curry just didn't get enough help, man. And the thing about the Raptors, I'll tell you something about Kawhi Leonard, man, too, about him. He's so smooth and sometimes quiet with his game that, I hate to always try to compare guys to other guys in prior eras and stuff like that, but sometimes he kind of reminds me a little bit as far as like how he scores at times. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Alex English and the fact that English was so smooth and he wasn't the most athletic guy. Kawhi is a lot more athletic than Alex English. Excuse me. But with English, you would think you watch the game like, okay, well, he probably got like 15, 16 points. And you look up and English has 30 points. And you're like, really? Where'd they come from? But um, Kawhi, unlike Steph Curry, had a lot of help tonight. Kawhi Leonard had 30 points on 10-11 from the free throw line, 9 of 17 from the field, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, 7.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Did turn the ball over 4 times, though. Pascal Siakam had 18 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. There were some moments, though, where I thought, especially in the second quarter, where Pascal Siakam was trying to force shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. He was just doing some stupid shit with the basketball, man. Like, just trying to kind of remind me a little bit of Giannis when he was trying to do too much. And in the second half of this game, I thought the Raptors played a lot better. If you take out their second quarter, this game would have been a blowout. Wasn't that close, but the second quarter was the one quarter where the Raptors didn't look like themselves, man. Marc Gasol, who's had an up and down playoff to a certain extent, had a good game. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Kyle Lowry, man, big game for him, man. 23 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 3-pointers, 5 of 9 from beyond the arc, 8 of 16 overall from the floor. Kyle Lowry has had quite a redemption in this playoff run. Kyle Lowry has been looked upon as a guy who was a perennial playoff choke artist. And this year, Kyle Lowry has put all of that to bed. He really has he really has I don't want to say this. He really has exercised the playoff ghost of the past. You know what I'm saying? Danny Green, who for the most part in his playoffs, and especially in the last series, shot woefully as far as from beyond the arc and overall, has really come around in this series, much to the chagrin for the Golden State Warriors. Danny Green had 18 points on 6 of 10 from beyond the arc, all of them. That's every shot he took was a 3-pointer. And Fred VanVleet had 11 points on 4 of 8 shooting, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, including one incredible 3-pointer that he made toward the end of this game when the Raptors were pretty much just padding their final margin of victory. So this has to change my prediction because I didn't, of course, like anybody else, foresee the Klay Thompson injury. I saw the Warriors winning this series in 6. I had the Raptors winning game 1, the Warriors come back to win game 2. I had the Warriors winning games 3 and 4. Then the Raptors winning game 5 at home, and then the Warriors wrapping things up in 6. Now, however, I have to rethink that. I mean, still conceivably still be the Warriors in 6. They could go on to win. Talking about the Warriors, they could go on to win 3 consecutive games. They're the Warriors; they can do that. But now I think that this series is going to go to full 7. I think it's going to go to full 7, and all bets are off as to who's going to win the series now. I'm not changing my prediction, but I think I was wrong. But like I said, I didn't foresee the injury. Um, I do think that Klay Thompson comes back for Game 4. I think they win Game 4. I'm talking about the Warriors to even the series up. I think Game 5, going back to Toronto, I think Toronto wins that game. They go up 3-2. I think Game 6 is going to be at Golden State, of course. And I think they even the series in the 6th game. The 7th game is the one that's going to be the pivotal one. I'm not ready to say that the Raptors are going to win the series because I think that Golden State can win on the road. If you put a gun to my head and say, motherfucker, make a decision, I would maybe favor by a slight margin the Raptors. If they're able to win this series, though, it would be quite a feat. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this series, I just don't know how it's going to go, man. It could go to full 7. Maybe the Raptors winning at home and capping off a remarkable season, the greatest season it would be. It already is the greatest season in their franchise history, but capping off a phenomenal comeback season for Kawhi Leonard, of course, because for the most part he's been, uh, shelved, so to speak, either by the injury or load management this year, where he wasn't able to play as many games as he wanted to, I guess, or could have. But it could go that way, or it could go the Warriors dominating after tonight. But I guess that's all I got to say about it, man. I'm trying to think about it. Well, if you're the Warriors, you got to look at it like this. Klay Thompson most likely going to be back for Game 4. And ultimately, you're looking at Kevin Durant down the road. If Kevin Durant does not return in this series, then that indicates to me that Durant is more injured than what people are letting on, what the Warriors are letting on. So we'll see, And I'm gonna tell you something, man. If you're the Warriors, you can't bring up injuries, man. You can't do it. You can't do it. And I can't let y'all guys get away with it on my channel because I remember saying before years ago when Zaza Pachulia took out Kawhi Leonard, I said, well, that injury was impactful. And what did most Warriors fans say? Hey, we were gonna beat them anyway. We were gonna beat them anyway. There was other series where y'all played guys when they were kind of banged up or they was missing people. I remember one year, I think they played the Clippers in the playoffs, I think. Was it the Clippers? And I think Paul and Griffin got injured and they got swept or something. I can't remember whether it was the Warriors or I can't remember. But I know it was a couple of series that the Warriors played and, the injury bug caught the opponent and it was a relatively easy series for the Warriors. So, I mean, if that would have happened to the Warriors this time where it was them with the injury bug, it happens, man. It happens. It happens throughout playoff history. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely not fair, but it happens. You know? But tell me what you guys think, man.